Munchies, and I'm happy to be able to share them with you. Stop by our store or our website, moochesmunchies.com, and find out why we say that Mooch's Munchies are totally pawsome.
At AR Heating and Air Conditioning, our main goal is to provide high-quality service without breaking the bank. From maintaining your HVAC units to fixing them when they are down, they are there for you. AR Heating and Air Conditioning offer reasonable prices, reliability, and professional service at a great value. For more information, go to fixmyac.net or call 702-646-4000. Beat the heat and call AR Heating and Air Conditioning today.
Hungry for the best barbecue in Las Vegas? Come out to the infamous barbecue and meat market, John Mole's Meats and Roadkill Grill in Las Vegas. John Mole's was featured on the Food Network's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Now take home delicious meat selections for your grill, and while you're there, grab a bite of the best barbecue in Las Vegas. With 2 locations now at Tom and Gowan or on North Decatur, you're sure to find the perfect meats for your next barbecue or party. Find us online at johnmolemeats.com.
You thought you'd gotten rid of us, didn't you? But you were wrong, old bean, because we're back with a vengeance. God save the Queen, my son. God save the Queen. She ain't no human being. She is a ball rocker, she is a ball rocker, she is a ball rocker now. Racing, honey, what you got? Breaking rocks in a hot sun. I'm on the law and the law one.
He said, hey, honey, take a walk on the wild side. And the colored girls say, do, 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 do.
You know, the coolest thing about what you just heard is that back then it was all played on AM radio, and here we are bringing it full circle, right? P. Moss is our guest from the I can't even believe I'm saying this. The Punk Rock Hall of Fame. You did it.
No, it's the Punk Rock Museum.
Oh, well, there you go. Why did I call it Hall of Fame?
Because you couldn't do it. Well, it is a Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
It's just not called that.
Why did I say Hall of Fame?
I don't know. You're excited.
Yeah, I am. I actually am. Especially now because we've talked a little bit off air about what to expect when you get there. But before we get to that, Can we go all the way back to the germ? It was somebody's idea.
Yeah, it was. It was, excuse me, Fat Mike from NoFX had an idea. He wanted to open a punk rock store on Main Street in Las Vegas, and he asked Lisa Brownlee from the Warped Tour to partner with him, and she didn't really want to do it. And they started talking and thinking, and it just eventually, the idea became a museum.
Is that how all museums become museums? It's an idea, and then you got so much stuff, you're like, we better display this.
No, I have a feeling that most other museums are just rich people vanity projects. They want to see their name somewhere. This came from the heart.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't really think Mike knew quite what he had bitten off to do this, because it was quite a large undertaking, and it took almost 3 years of gathering artifacts and putting this together and getting the building ready and the whole thing. And a lot of people involved, and a lot of people did a great job. And finally, April 1st, it opened.
And it wasn't an April Fool's joke.
It was not an April Fool's joke, no.
So when you go in, you're kind of explaining to me that you first of all, you get a guided tour.
Well, not everybody. You can purchase a guided tour with some well-known personality from some well-known band, and you can go online to the museum website, thepunkrockmuseum.com, and you can see what they have to offer. You can see who's up next, who's coming next week, next month, or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can get yourself set up with that. But generally, you come in, you buy a ticket, and you just wander around the museum.
And it goes chronologically. It
goes chronologically. You walk in, and you are in the mid 70s. And well,
I'm always in the mid 70s.
Well, yeah, you got you got your Ramones and your Sex Pistols and your Clash, whatever. That's where you start, and you wind around. They're 1,200 or 12,000 rather square feet. It's a large place, and it's put together very nicely, where you wander around, and there's just there's an exhibit everywhere you turn. I mean, you're always in front of something. And you wind around, through the 80s bands, the 90s bands, and you get, and it's all the major bands that you would assume would be represented there. There are also
some you may not have
right. There are a lot of
thought about
a lot of
since then.
smaller bands
Yeah.
that maybe not everybody knows about, but were very important. And once you wind around everything, then you can go upstairs to the second floor, which features costumes and takes you to the bands into the 2000s. And upstairs also there's a wedding chapel.
So you get married.
You can get married. We had our first wedding the other day.
I saw the picture. It looked great.
We weren't completely set up and ready for it yet, but they wanted to do it, and so they did it. There's a tattoo parlor that will open, I believe, on May 1st.
Mm-hmm.
There's also upstairs something it's really a cool interactive thing. It's called the Jam Room, and it's got guitars and amps from famous people, famous musicians,
and you plug their guitar into their amp.
You plug like you can pick up Joan Jett's guitar and plug it into Joan Jett's amp and play it. That's
so cool.
And that also is a revolving exhibit, because there are I think there's maybe 5 or 6 in there, but it will some will leave, some new ones will come in. So it's the kind of place where you can go and spend an afternoon and then go back another time and see things that you missed the first time. There's that much stuff there.
Wow.
A lot of big stuff, a lot of little stuff, but it's really cool. It's a lot of fun, and it's very comprehensive.
What's the artist reaction when you say, Joan, we'd like your guitar, or Joan, we'd like your leather jacket?
Well, I don't think she's going to give up the leather jacket. Although
I bet she has more than one.
Although I've got a friend. His name is Seiji. He's in this band called Guitar Wolf. He's Japanese. He's based in Tokyo, and he has Joan Jett signed the back of his leather jacket. And for years, he wears that jacket every single day, summer, winter,
doesn't matter,
whatever. So if he's not going to give up that jacket, I don't think Joan's going to give up hers. But she did give up a guitar, and that's pretty cool.
That is very, very cool.
But there are a lot of leather jackets that are displayed in the museum.
Right, and for those who don't remember, and I don't know how you wouldn't, but that was almost expected. If you were going to meet a punk, they usually had a leather jacket on. I don't know.
Absolutely,
it was like uniform,
right? It was
Doc Martens, right?
Yeah.
Pins.
Mm-hmm.
We can get into all of that. Do you believe that punk rock started in the early 70s in New York?
Well, I believe that it
or was it DC5 or
no, it had, in my opinion, and I think most people will agree with me, the roots are there from the Stooges.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to say that the New York Dolls were that was just it. They were just plain ass first. And because there was nothing like the Dolls, and like the title of their second album was Too Much Too Soon, they were too much too soon.
Mm-hmm.
If they had come along a couple of years later, they would have been huge. But that's just how it was. But what they did was influence absolutely everyone. And so people say the Ramones started it. Well, they didn't. The Ramones are kind of like the Beatles. The Beatles didn't start that British rock and roll stuff, but they were the ones who
brought it to the forefront.
They brought it to the forefront, and they brought it to the public, and that's kind of what the Ramones did. I mean,
they would concur. By the way, I talked to Danny Fields, and he said that they were just right place, right time. He goes, we worked hard,
absolutely,
to get people to know who we were,
right.
But they got the credit for sort of being first,
right.
Even though, like you said, and why I said DC5.
You meant MC5.
I meant MC5. Yeah. No offense to the Dave Clark 5, but I didn't mean you. Okay. I would never, ever call the Dave Clark 5 a punk band. No. But the MC5.
Although Marky Ramone, I didn't know he could write, but Marky Ramone has a book. And and Marky's a drummer for the Ramones. He's like, brother number 5.
Yeah.
He dedicated this book to Dave Clark.
Really?
Who he says does the best snare work ever.
Well, that it was at least in the mix. I will give the
Yeah.
Dave Clark 5 drums were always like right in your face.
But anyway, so there is a connection. Yeah, Marky Ramone of all people pulls in Dave Clark.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. See, so I actually did know what I was talking about.
You know some things.
I'm gonna take credit for that. P. Moss is our guest. Now you also are a writer.
I am.
And a musician.
Yes.
Your band called
Bloodcocks UK.
I wanted you to say it, not me. But yeah. Okay. And when was that band put together?
About 12 or 13 years ago.
Oh, okay.
We are the only American band never to play in America.
I read that
on purpose, and we are very proud of that. We toured England once. We toured Japan 7 times, and we're going back to Japan in September just to play one final show.
Wow.
And because you can only do it for so long, but it's been great. Yeah. It's a lot
Who
of
was
fun.
it that lit your button, so to speak, gave you the interest to pick up a guitar and start playing?
I don't know. I just a friend of mine said, we should start a band. We'd been to, this was, I don't know, 12, 13, 14 years ago. There was a Mick Rock photo exhibit. It didn't last very long, and it was just unbelievable photography.
Mm-hmm.
And it's inspiring. And he goes, we should start a band. I go, yeah, that's really great. I go, you don't know how to play anything, and neither do I. And so I just sort of took that as a challenge, and bought a guitar, started fooling around with it. And
that's punk rock. That's how almost all of these bands started the same way, didn't they?
Yeah, well, yeah, and quite frankly, what I ended up writing a whole bunch of songs, and quite frankly, what I do is I can play a pretty decent rhythm guitar on songs I wrote. Other than that, I can't do anything, but I can do that, and it's enough.
And we only do songs I wrote.
Yeah, that's right.
I love that. Okay, so we'll never see you here. You won't be playing at the Triple Down anytime soon.
No, sir.
Okay. Well, you're also a bar owner.
Yes.
And not a bar builder. That's the joke. Okay. But the bar owner who somehow now has 3 different bars in town.
Right. And 2 in New York City.
That's cray-cray. How'd that all start?
Well, I mean, I came to Las Vegas because I wanted to open a bar. I wanted to open the kind of bar that I would want to hang out at. And that bar became Double Down.
Right.
And then came Double Down in New York. And then came Frankie's Tiki Room. And then came another bar in New York. And then, when Mike and the museum people approached me about, operating the bar at the museum, we talked about that for quite a while. And
were you in right away on that, or did you have to think about it?
They had to convince me, but they did.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they did.
Yeah.
My partner Chris and I operate that.
Now, do you go back and forth between New York and Vegas all the time?
I used to. I don't anymore. I don't go very often. I go just a few times a year. I've got great people out there, and I'm in contact all the time. So
somebody once told me, it was my mom. She was in the restaurant business.
Mm-hmm.
She said it's all about trust.
It is all about trust.
You have to trust your employees to be able to be you when you can't be.
It's
there.
more than that. You can trust anybody, but you need to trust people who have earned your trust.
Sure.
And that's hard to find. The people that I have in New York have earned my trust, and I would trust them with anything.
Yeah.
And
that's why you're not getting on a plane every couple weeks.
That's why I'm not getting on a plane every couple of weeks.
All right. So if I go to the museum, what's the one thing you would say is the highlight of the place?
The bar, for God's sake.
The punk rock museum. You got to go to the Triple Down.
You got to go to the Triple Down. And what you have to do is you have to, have whatever you want, but, be, get with the program. You order a Fletcher, which is basically rum and Coke served in a Pringles can. And you get to eat the Pringles. It's Fletcher, who is the guitarist for Pennywise. We were talking a while ago, and he goes, we just happened to casually mention, I don't know why it came up, that what he drinks is rum and Coke in a Pringles can. Yeah. And I go, say that one more time. He did. I go, okay, don't worry, I got an idea. And I never said anything else to him. And then when the bar opened up, we served the Fletcher, which is the biggest selling item at the bar.
I would imagine. Well, it's larger than your standard drink. Yeah.
It is. It's a big drink, and
comes with chips.
You get fake potato chips, and it's fun. and you have your friend take a picture of you drinking the damn thing.
Sure.
And it's a lot of fun. Like the museum's a lot of fun. And you end your tour of the museum at the bar where you just relax, you have some more fun.
Okay. P. Moss is with us, the Punk Rock Museum, not Hall of Fame. Where are you located?
1422 Western Avenue, next to Little Darlings.
Oh,
Yeah.
how convenient.
So yeah, you can get
You know what? I drove right past there.
Oh, yeah, you stopped there too, didn't you?
Not at Little Darlings.
Come on.
No, I didn't. But I did see the museum, and now I'm just remembering that I saw the museum.
It's hard to miss. It's a black building with neon green lettering.
Right. But I took a mental note of it and
Okay.
then kind of forgot. So
Okay.
you're right. But you weren't open yet. Now you're open.
Now we're
April
open.
1st,
We're
opened
open.
up.
Yes.
So give us some of the bands that are there that maybe people wouldn't expect to see.
I don't know, bands like the Red Ants, bands like Faction. There's just tons of bands, you know.
Were you a punk yourself?
No, I was never a punk. I always, from the very beginning, really, really liked punk music.
Yeah.
And I like the punk attitude and the atmosphere, and I like going to punk clubs and punk shows. But I was never a punk, but I got it and I enjoyed it, and I always have enjoyed it.
How did you not become a punk if you were all over the music, all over the scene? Just didn't want, you couldn't give up your Foreigner records.
Oh no, I never had Foreigner records. Don't no. See, what you're doing now is, I know this is AM radio, and I know the FCC's involved, and I've done enough interviews to know when I can swear and where I can't.
Yeah.
But damn it,
Oh,
I never had any Foreigner records.
okay. Let's just stop those rumors right now, and don't even bring up Journey, because we
Oh,
don't
for
want.
God's sake.
Well, you know, the one thing I was thinking about, though, because we're talking about these, for lack of a better word, commercial mainstream rock bands from those days.
Mhm, sure.
They lived side by side with the soul artist, the R&B artist, the funk artist,
Right.
and the punks as well. And I remember specifically
Well,
having.
like the Ramones said, we want the airwaves, because they didn't have them.
That's true. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I remember my journalism class, there was a girl named Liz Guig.
Oh, you knew her?
I did know Liz.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Good old girl, Liz. She was a
easy
great
too. Really,
That was a
easy.
rumor.
No, she was easy.
Okay. I'm not going to argue that. Okay. Anyway, Liz was the editor of our newspaper and lived the ethos in every way, shape, and form. I mean, I learned about Susie and the Banshees from her. I learned about the Sex Pistols from her. In fact, she was at that show in San Francisco, the one and only, you know.
Yeah.
And she waved the flag, but she had zero issues sort of being elbow to elbow with somebody who liked REO Speedwagon. You know, it was okay. And I was thinking about this today, for the museum to really do super well, it's going to have to not just super serve the core, the people that grew up and identify, but also people who maybe are just curious because they lived through that time, but they just never went off the diving board.
Here's the thing about the museum and the reason why it's going to be successful for a long time. It's like, punk started in the 70s, mid 70s. That's almost 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you got guys who were kids then. They're in their 60s now.
Yeah.
And they want to come to the museum and see all the stuff that takes them back to that. You've got people that are 20 that are coming in that just love all the new stuff and the recent stuff, and that's what they want to see. But they're really excited to see the old stuff, and the old guys are excited to see the new stuff, and everybody in between. And like the old guys, they'll want to take their kids or their grandkids and say, "This is what Grandpa used to like."
Sure.
And go, "Shut up! I'm going to the bar." But it's for absolutely for everybody.
I'm going to have a Fletcher right now.
You're going to have a Fletcher. I dare you to have two of them.
So something for everybody.
Absolutely, there's something for everybody.
So we're kind of saying the same thing, because I think there would be a curiosity from that person that was, for whatever reason, lived the mainstream music lifestyle.
Yeah.
But watched all the fun happening and was like, oh, I want to slam dance.
Absolutely.
I want to surf, So this is a chance to go in and check it all out.
Absolutely.
Learn about stuff that came before you and the things, like you said, that are happening right now. Punk hasn't gone away.
Punk has not gone away.
Yeah.
And it ebbs and flows, and it's big and it's not, but it's not going to go away, and it's never going to go away.
Do you have a favorite latter day, more current punk band?
No.
No. Okay.
Well, I'm going to say Pennywise because I just thank Fletcher for his drink.
Yeah. So for that reason alone, a tip of the cap.
Yes, and and well, there's a couple more. It's like there's also the double fatty, which is named after Fat Mike, which he wanted to have it's a double shot of Tito's vodka with lime seltzer and a shot of Jameson Irish whiskey on the side.
A little Jameson to chase it down.
You said shit.
No, I said chase.
No,
but I got your ear with that SH. So
you did. Anyway, so we've got some specialty drinks, and it's just a lot of fun.
Man, I want to go. I want to go right now. What are the hours?
The museum is open from noon until 10. Right now, the bar is open until 11. It's open only to museum customers at this point, but sometime very soon,
it's going to change.
Hopefully in the next several weeks, that's going to change where the bar is open to the public. You don't have to go to the museum to go to the bar, although you're going to want to, but you don't have to.
Is that a legal thing, or is that just something you guys are working
No, that's
out?
just something that the way it started out.
Yeah.
And we will be open later as well. So that's going to be a big deal when that happens. And when that does happen, we're going to yell really loud and everybody's going to know it.
All the way down Fremont Street.
All the way down everywhere. Yes.
Who is the, or how do you find out who's giving the guided tours?
Go to the website, thepunkrockmuseum.com, and it will tell you everything that's going on. It will allow you to reserve space in whatever tour you want. And there's a great gift shop as well. I mean, I know you exit museums through the gift shop,
right,
and you exit this one through the gift shop, but you also enter this one through the gift shop. And there's a lot of really great stuff in there. It's got your basics, your t-shirts, your stuff, and tons of stuff. But it's also got a lot of great books and things. So it's really interesting. Yeah.
What about your books? Are they there?
No, my books aren't.
You're kind of like true crime writer, right?
Crime fiction.
Crime fiction.
I don't like true crime. Crime fiction.
Okay.
Yeah. No, my books wouldn't fit in there. But
how do we find your books?
Go to a bookstore, or easiest way if you're lazy, just lay in bed or sit in the bathtub and go to Amazon.
And you're available there.
I'm available there. Yes, sir.
P. Moss, thanks, man.
My pleasure.
This was a lot of fun. The Punk Rock Museum, you got to go check this out. I'm headed there as soon as I can. I hear Liz is over there, and somebody told me she was easy, so we'll find out about that. I don't know who that was. Okay, do that, and stick around. It's almost National Record Store Day. That's coming up. In fact, it's tomorrow, and we're going to have a guest in here, Christina, who's coming in from Zia Records, and she's going to be able to tell us everything we know to make it a good RSD, which is happening tomorrow, not just in Las Vegas, but all around the country. That's on the way, and you are listening to The Wayne Coy Show.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. And the money you do have in the stock market will go down and down. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Gold and silver have never been worth zero, and typically gold holds its value during economic turmoil. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. And learn how to set up a new IRA or roll over your current one into a gold-backed IRA. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
800-557-7921. 800-557-7921. 800-557-7921. That's 800-557-7921.
Hi there, this is Kirby Schofield, Schofield Realty here in Las Vegas. Real estate is always changing, be it a buyer's market, a seller's market. At Schofield Realty, it's your market. Buying or selling, we have the team and the tools to work the market so it works for you. We are excited that we're on the Wayne Coy Show. Our results blessed us with the Zillow Flex partnership roughly about 2 years ago due to our consistent conversion and customer service scores. With conversion, that means we can close. And with our customer service scores, you know you're going to get the best service possible. We're always looking for agents led by mentorship, resources, and experience. We are your guide. Find us, KirbyForYou.com. That's KIRBY, the number 4, the letter U.com. Kirby4U.com or call 702-766-9538. Again, 702-766-9538.
My name is Michael Stefanski, and I'm the owner and founder of Sin City Custom Suits, custom clothing concierge. I help gentlemen get into clothes that fit them like they're supposed to, that they pick out themselves, and we craft together. 600 different suit fabrics to pick from, about 40 measurements to make sure the suit's going to fit you right. Then we decide, do you want 2 buttons on the front, 3 buttons on the front, how many on the sleeve? Do you want like a custom photo lining for the inside of your jacket? Any number of different things that you can think of. This is all about what do you want. And when you ask guys, what do you want? They don't know because they've never been given the option before. Because I help men look as absolute best as they can. It's transforming people's lives. If you've never had a suit that fits you right, you have no idea how much confidence it gives you. That's the important part. 702-767-2478. Instagram at Custom Suit Guy, SinCityCustomSuits.com.
The London Bridge Resort in Lake Havasu is the perfect place to vacation in style. Their beautifully designed suites include stunning views, a kitchenette, and free Wi-Fi. The well-reviewed and affordable resort has tons of amenities, including a breakfast buffet, kids camp, a 9-hole golf course, 3 pools, a marina, boat tours, a water slide, and a great nightlife scene. London Bridge Resort is centrally located in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. Go to londonbridgeresort.com to plan your getaway today. London Bridge Resort, your Arizona oasis destination.
Hungry for the best barbecue in Las Vegas? Come out to the infamous Barbecue and Meat Market, John Moles Meats and Roadkill Grill in Las Vegas. John Moles was featured on the Food Network's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Now take home delicious meat selections for your grill, and while you're there, grab a bite of the best barbecue in Las Vegas. With 2 locations now at Tom and Gowan or on North Decatur, you're sure to find the perfect meats for your next barbecue or party. Find us online at johnmolemeats.com.
Buckle up. Let's go for a ride. It's the Wayne Coy Show.
Welcome back to it. It is nice to have you here on what we like to call Feel Good Friday. Thanks again to P. Moss. He's an interesting dude. I really enjoyed that visit. That was fun. The Punk Rock Museum is open for business since April. It's one of the new attractions here in Las Vegas. So when you get the chance, go check it out. My next guest is Christina Wilson. And now Christina is from Zia Records. Hi, Christina.
Hi, how are you?
Very good. Welcome in. Do we call this RSD Eve?
Yes, Record Store Day Eve.
Okay.
It's a big night.
Zia Records is, of course, the experience if you're looking for vinyl, if you're looking for T-shirts. It's like Disneyland for me, and I think for a lot of people, right?
Yes, absolutely. We have everything. We have music, we have movies, we have video games, we have collectibles, we have clothes. We might even have, who knows, like if you're looking for, there's a chance that we have it. We have something for everyone at the stores.
See, that's what I'm saying. And so this particular, I almost want to call it a holiday. This started how long ago?
15 years ago. This is the 15th anniversary of Record Store Day. Yes.
Well,
so
that's
it is
a big deal.
Yeah, it is a holiday in our hearts, and it's to celebrate independent record stores and the fact that we're still around and we're thriving at this point.
Now, and we were having this conversation today about what makes a record store technically independent, because Zia, you have locations in Arizona and here, and multiple locations here.
Yes, we have 2 locations here and 6 in Arizona, 5 in the Phoenix Valley, and then 1 in Tucson. So
Okay.
8 locations total.
Just threw a bone to Tucson.
Well, it started in Arizona,
Yeah.
and then we moved here in 2005. So we've been here for almost 20 years in Las Vegas.
I worked at a radio station in Tucson.
Oh, really?
So I kid because I love, 104.1 The Point. Yeah, I worked there. Do you know that station?
I don't.
Do you know Tucson?
I've never been to Tucson.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a cool place to hang out.
Yeah.
The old Pueblo. Yeah. And Phoenix is Phoenix, so that's cool.
Yeah, I have been to Phoenix.
So by the time I get to, never mind. So the independent thing, though, it doesn't mean that you don't have, only one location. It means you're not part of some big national conglomerate. You're not a chain.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, we're not a huge chain. I mean, we're technically a small chain because we've got the multiple locations throughout a couple of cities or a couple of states.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're not a huge conglomerate. We're not a Target. We're not a Walmart.
Right.
We're not Best Buy. We're very much more localized and more community based, and we want to work with our local communities in Vegas, Phoenix, and Tucson, and reach out to those music fans and those movie fans and those pop culture fans.
Right. That's right. You mentioned movies. I forgot all about that. They're there too.
Yeah.
Books. You have books.
We have books. We have comic books.
Games.
We've got posters, board games, video games, random accessories.
Hmm? I was at your Rainbow store yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had to go because I had to be on the air, but it was hard because I really wanted to hang out because one thing leads to another thing leads to another thing. My kids used to run whenever I would see a record store because they knew, oh, there goes Dad for 3 hours.
Yeah, you
right?
can get lost in there.
You can't go to the bathroom there though. By the way,
No public restrooms.
No, I said, where's the closest one? They go, well, 7-Eleven. You might be able to talk the furniture store into it, but anyway, took care of that necessary thing that had to happen, and then came back and browsed some more. So. A lot of fun. You probably saw me on the security cameras. So tell me more about Record Store Day. People spend the night.
Yes. Record Store Day I've already said it, but it's a national holiday to celebrate independent record stores. And for this holiday, hundreds of artists will put out limited edition vinyl that you can only get at the independent record stores.
Right.
Most of the time on that day. So if there's something that somebody's really looking for, they will spend the night in front of the stores just to try to guarantee that they're going to get their hands on it, because even sleeping in front of the store is not going to guarantee that you're going to get what you're looking for, depending on how limited the item is.
How do they determine how many copies of a limited edition, whatever it is, new album on vinyl, maybe not even a new album, maybe it's a reissue or it's a special version, but then they put out a certain quantity and that's it. Okay. How do they determine how many stores get a copy and, how many copies the store gets, all of that?
That's all done like on our buyer's side. So our buyer, he'll reach out to the people from Record Store Day and he'll put in the order. And sometimes we get everything that we've asked for. And then sometimes they'll have to pull back on a few titles and say, I know you ordered X amount, but we can only give you Z amount.
Yeah. Okay. And are you still doing the where you can bring in your old and exchange it for credit or get cash?
Oh yeah. Our trade counters are open every day. Their stores are open at 10 a.m. So they're open from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Right.
So they close an hour before the stores close. But yeah, you can bring in, you can basically bring in anything. If you look at the store, that's what we accept in trade. And then even if it's something that you don't see in the store, bring it by because we might take a look at it. We'll offer you cash or store credit. Store credit's always going to be more than the cash, but you can take that store credit and buy new stuff.
I was thinking maybe one of our cats. Could I do that?
Unfortunately, no. I would love if the stores had a shop cat, though. I love cats.
Every movie that you've ever seen that's got a bookstore independent or record store independent, they always have a store cat.
Yeah, there's got if the stores had a cat, I would love it.
Leave.
I would never leave. I would offer to take care of the cat. I would shelter the cat at night, and then bring it back in the morning so that it's there for the customers.
I said the magic word there. Okay. Now, do you already know Zia? Did you get kicked down? Do you have some cool Record Store Day stuff that people are just going to freak out about?
Yes. The one that I've gotten the most questions about since the list has dropped is the Taylor Swift Long Pond Sessions Folklore.
Oh.
It is the largest Record Store Day release ever. I don't even know the exact number of how many they've pressed worldwide. It's somewhere between, I think the worldwide number is close to 75,000.
Okay.
So the US got a large allotment of that. And all of our locations will have plenty of copies tomorrow morning.
Well, 75,000 compared to the 3 million that typical Taylor Swift album would sell.
Yeah.
Right? 5 million, whatever the number. I mean, she's just crazy.
Yeah.
Popular. I've never heard. Did you see where she's playing at Allegiant?
Mm-hmm.
And the day before, they had her merch on sale and there were lines.
Yeah.
The day before.
I know.
Right. And so That almost makes record store day look like a walk in the park. Okay, so if I've spent the night and I've got my list, how do you get the list? Is it online?
Yeah, the list is online. You can either find it on the Record Store Day website or on our website, ziarecords.com. We have our own little section for RSD stuff, so you can see what the stores should be getting. It won't tell you exactly how many copies, and we also will have QR codes set up where you can scan them, and then it'll take you to the list, and you can look at the list and kind of figure out what you're looking for.
You scan it and it goes, sorry, the dude two before you bought the last one.
It won't say that exactly. It'll just be like, here are the items.
Have you ever had anybody get upset because they came and spent specifically a certain amount of time outside waiting to get in, and then they get in and whatever it was they were looking for isn't there? Has that ever happened?
It's rarely the people that show up like super early, because those people, sometimes they just have one item in mind that they're looking for, but they're also usually the collectors that will have a list. So if they want 10 items and they walk out of the store with 8 of the 10,
That's pretty good.
They're very happy. It's usually people who will show up like around noon after the stores have already been open for a few hours, and then they go
harder, I would imagine. Yeah.
They go, where is this? And then, sorry, it's out. Well, how is it out? I'm like, well, it's very limited.
Is the typical record store day customer a fan, or are they collectors? Combination of both?
I think it's a combination of both. I think, especially, I'm gonna like lean back to Taylor Swift again. She's like really, the fans are coming out for her. They want that record.
The Swifties.
Yes. They're leaving their house. They're getting their lawn chairs out. They're maybe getting a blanket. I don't know. It's Vegas, so it might not be too cold in the middle of the night.
Right.
tonight.
So this is going to happen. People will spend the night outside.
More than likely, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I mean, it takes me back. It used to be concerts, right? Tickets to a certain show would be going on sale, so you'd spend the night to buy the tickets.
Yeah.
Then you'd spend the night at the stadium to get in because it was general admission, and so there was a lot of spending the night.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, was just fine by me when I was a teenager. So what about for the old folks? You got Taylor Swift for the youngies, but what about some classics? Or is there anything being re-released or special released?
For the first time on vinyl and CD, Pearl Jam's Giveaway is going to be out. It was supposed to be a promotional item back in 1998, I believe, and it was going to be given out by Best Buy, and then that deal fell through. So now, for the first time ever, it's going to be officially available on vinyl and CD.
Probably been bootlegged and all of that before now, right?
Yeah. It's definitely been bootlegged. I think some of the copies, the promo copies, like got into the hands of people probably that worked at Best Buy at some point. So there were like copies floating around, but this is one that's sanctioned by Pearl Jam.
Christina Wilson is with us from Zia Records. What's left on your to-do list that you have to do as you prepare for your big day? So I'm curious to know, do you have to staff up with extra people? Are you adding sections that don't normally exist? Do you stop doing things you normally would do because you're focused on record store day?
I don't know that we necessarily like stop things that we normally do. But we do put in extra effort for Record Store Day. We will have, it's an all hands on deck kind of day. So basically everyone that is employed by Zia should be working in some capacity
Probably
tomorrow.
a rule, isn't it?
Yes.
Whatever you do, don't think you can take that day off, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we let people know too, like when we hire them, like, hello, this is the blackout period and this is the blackout date.
Sure. Holidays are a big deal. People are Christmas shopping and all that, but the record store day, I would imagine, looms large. 15 years. I didn't even realize it'd been going on that long.
Yeah.
Whose idea was it to begin with? Do you know?
I know Michael Kurtz is one of the owners. I don't know if or one of the founders. It was him. I don't know the name of the other person.
That's okay.
But Michael Kurtz.
Michael's only more popular anyways. It doesn't matter. So he came up with the idea as an independent himself. Yes.
And
then said, you know what? We do something special. And a lot of people would have said that was almost a, not an art form, but what am I thinking of? Something from a time long ago, right? And then this thing called vinyl reared its ugly head and came back again, which I don't think anybody would have predicted, because I remember there was a time where nobody even wanted to buy your vinyl.
Yeah.
And now, I mean,
we can't keep it in stock.
Right.
And now even factories, they're so behind on pressing
Yeah.
It's like hard to get them in. So sometimes CDs will come out months before the record comes out physically.
And people are like, yeah, no, I'll wait for the vinyl.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. Especially, I don't want to like, say anything else. But with streaming services, it's like it's so easy to just listen to the music immediately. But then I know for me, I love having physical media. I love having something that I can show off.
And maybe something that's not this big, but is this big.
Yeah, it's
right?
almost, it's like a little piece of art in a way.
Kind of is, yeah.
And especially now, so many artists are putting out like different colors, different like picture discs. Like there's something special, I think, about having vinyl.
Right. Because you can get colored vinyl.
Yeah.
Right? Picture discs.
Yeah. And sometimes there's like shapes. Like there'll just be a record that's in the shape of a heart. And like you just put the needle like in the middle in it.
And hope it stays there. Right? So what do you think it is? Well, I just read the statistic that last year was the first year that vinyl has outsold CDs since the compact disc was in its second year, I think. From that point forward, it's been all about the CD, right? Even with MP3s and whatever that exist, like you said. But vinyl is back, and I think maybe the reason why, I think you hit it on the head, is it's a little piece of art, right? You get a booklet inside, you get the liner notes, and you can actually read them, and the pictures are larger. You know, I remember buying a Cheech and Chong record just because it had like the world's largest rolling paper was inside, the Big Bamboo album. And then I just thought it was a sad thing when albums went away, and now they're back. Do you think it's a better experience for as a listener?
I think so. I think there's something intimate about it. Even if you're just with friends and you're just like in the living room and, you put on a record and you can just have it as background noise while you talk. And it's a conversation piece. It's something, that you can have on your own, but then it's also something that you can share with your friends.
Right. And everybody's all mad now because your grandma threw away your records. They would be worth a lot. Are there some records that are on the floor at Zia that are worth stupid money?
Oh, I'm sure. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I know I was in the store sometime last week and I saw like a limited edition Lana Del Rey box set that was like already at $300.
Well, first of all, the fact there is a Lana Del Rey box set, but how much?
$300.
Folks, this is crazy. Stop it. Or continue. Go to Zia Records, and you want to go tomorrow. Is that a good day to get sort of your first taste of an independent record store?
You know what? Yeah, because I think tomorrow is such an exciting day and there's going to be so much excitement around that day. And I feel like you can feel it from the staff and from the customers. And I think that would be such an awesome first way to experience the records.
Yeah, it's like going to a baseball game on opening day.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you don't know anything about it, I feel like there's going to be someone there who's going to be so excited to tell you about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. What time's the store open?
Stores open at 7 a.m. tomorrow. It's the earliest that we've ever opened for Record Store Day.
Really?
Yeah.
What I would think that just comes with the territory. Early opening, 7 a.m.
We usually do like 8 or 9.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is this because you're tired of the people on the sidewalk and you want to let them in the store?
No, there's been so much excitement and buzz, especially around, like I said, the Taylor Swift and just other titles that, we want to get the product into people's hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Because you're givers. That's what you do at Zia.
Yeah, we try. We try.
No, I will tell you this. The customer service there is fantastic. You do hire people that have a little bit in their noggin in terms of knowledge, which is nice. Because a lot of people sometimes don't know what, they know what they're looking for, but they don't know. So they have to be educated a little bit. So if you can go to somebody behind the counter who can say, oh, I mean, it's not quite high fidelity, but still to have that knowledge, I guess, I think back to there's a guy named Billy Francis who owns a very small store in independent record store in Daphne, Alabama. And I met him just because I was working on the radio there and he was the local record store guy. He's still there. He's from New Orleans, but he's got so much in his head that if you're ever stuck, and there is also that thing of, hey, I'm having some people over, we're doing a little thing, what would be good? And they can recommend. They can say, oh, I try this, try that. Maybe not on Record Store Day, though.
Yeah, maybe not like the small, intimate conversations on Record Store Day. But I think just experiencing the excitement that people experience in a record store, I feel like it's very infectious on record store day.
Well, on record store day, it's just, where's the Taylor Swift?
No, she will be clearly marked. Do not worry. We will
Okay.
have balloons around not only Taylor Swift, but all of the record store day items. And
I love it.
there will be someone saying, hello, the record store day item stuff is this way. We'll have, I'm sure someone will have a light, like a flight emergency landing thing.
Make sure you get in, get your album, and move over if somebody else wants that.
Yeah. And then, we'll have the gas masks come down from the ceiling too, in case anyone like hyperventilates or something.
What an experience. All right. Well, it's tomorrow. Finally, it's like Christmas. It's finally here. Make sure you go 2 locations here in town.
2 locations, one on Rainbow and Charleston, and the other one is on Eastern and Warm Springs.
Yeah. See, depending on which studio I'm working out of, I can either go to your Rainbow store here, or if I'm at the other studio and I'm heading back towards Henderson, I drive right past it. Yeah. Very good. Nice locations. That's always good. Christina, thanks for being in here. I know of all days, right? But I just had to know more. So I'm glad you said yes.
Thank you so much for having me. I
Sure.
really appreciate it.
We got our records on. That's what we're doing. It is tomorrow, National Record Store Day. Independent record stores deserve a little pat on the back. And I hope you never go away. Always stay there and keep on selling those records.
We're here to stay. So
All right, there you go.
Thank you guys so much.
You got it. Go see them tomorrow.
Do you need low-priced, quality health insurance for any reason right now? Then call myhealthinsurance.com today. We specialize in helping American workers find affordable health insurance. You can save money on dental, vision, prescription drugs, too. Our message is simple. If you want affordable health insurance for you and your family, even if you have a medical condition, call right now. Is right now the best time for you to start looking for affordable health insurance? We have hundreds of plans to choose from. With one free phone call, you can learn about an affordable health insurance plan that fits your budget. Don't wait. It's a free call. Call now.
800-876-7061. 800-876-7061. 800-876-7061. That's 800-876-7061.
MyHealthInsurance.com is owned and operated by IHC Specialty Benefits, a licensed insurance agency. We are not an insurance plan or provider. Not all plans are available in all areas. You may be contacted by an insurance agent.
Hi there, this is Kirby Schofield, Schofield Realty here in Las Vegas. Real estate is always changing. Be it a buyer's market, a seller's market, at Schofield Realty, it's your market. Buying or selling, we have the team and the tools to work the market so it works for you. We are excited that we're on the Wayne Coy Show. Our results blessed us with the Zillow Flex partnership roughly about 2 years ago due to our consistent conversion and customer service scores. With conversion, that means we can close. And with our customer service scores, you know you're going to get the best service possible. We're always looking for agents led by mentorship, resources, and experience. We are your guide. Find us. KirbyForYou.com. That's KIRBY, the number 4, the letter U.com. KirbyForYou.com or call 702-766-9538. Again, 702-766-9538.
Are you worried about your taxes? Okay, so I'm talking to those of you out there that have not filed in a few years with the IRS or state. It's time to get worried, and here's why. The IRS is getting back from their own COVID lockdown, and they're hiring more enforcers, and they're going to come after people that owe taxes. So if you're a 1099 worker, and maybe you just plain forgot to file your taxes, you need to call the professionals right now at the Tax Helpline. They are experts at knowing the tax regulations, and their goal is to help you pay as little as possible. Call right now and get a 100% free tax evaluation. Remember, before the IRS knocks on your door, knock on our door. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, make this free call right now.
Call Taxes 321 now at 800-203-3517. 800-203-3517. That's 800-203-3517.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
Paid for by Steel Man Pills. 800-431-9102. 800-431-9102. 800-431-9102. That's 800-431-9102.
Big Dogs Brewing Company, open 24/7, is an award-winning brewery, a full-service catering business, and a fun, smoke-free brew pub restaurant with a full-service bar, including over 35 craft beers on tap, 35 multi-denomination slot machines, the best gaming promotion, and a lively, dog-friendly outdoor patio. Big Dogs Brewing Company, 4543 North Rancho at Craig. Find out more at BigDogsBrews.com.
Hey, listen to this. Share Life Vacations has a special treat for you. It's a free 3-day, 2-night getaway to either magical Orlando or exciting Las Vegas. It's your choice. Absolutely no strings attached. Share Life will also include a second vacation to your choice of over 30 additional popular resort destinations. Now, we can't give everyone a fantastic prize package like this, so to make it fair, we're going to ask you a trivia question. You get it right, you'll win it all. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. This movie is about a British Secret Service agent who is frozen in time in the 1960s. Was that movie Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery? Press 1. Diamonds Are Forever? Press 2. Lethal Weapon? Press 3. Got it? Well, then call 855-301-8586. 855-301-8586. That's 855-301-8586.
Live from Las Vegas, this is the Wayne Coy Show.
Been a heck of a Friday already, man. We've got that guest seat just warm, don't we? It'll stay that way for the rest of the night. I don't know who's going to sit in it next. We'll find out. But the next hour, we go back in time, not too far back, a little earlier this week. A great visit with Mia Jackson, comedian who just makes me laugh. I laugh saying her name, but she's over at the Rio at the Comedy Cellar, appearing there all week long. And we had a chance to talk about her in depth about what she does, how she does it. And of course, we'll get to hear some of her comedy too, which is great. So that's coming up. And then last night on the show, I have a burr in my saddle, and there's a reason for that, and it has to do with the relocation, or potential, I should say, relocation of my Oakland Athletics moving to my my new hometown. Isn't that weird, right? It's like they're following me. And again, it's not even for sure, but there's a lot about it that has sort of set me sideways, and kind of vented my spleen last night. And I was not the only one, by the way. I was on YouTube today watching video after video from people trying to say basically the same thing, which is, look, there's a business side and then there's a whole nother personal side. And I think it's that part that for whatever reason got glossed over, forgotten, or maybe they just don't care. I don't know. But yeah, I had plenty to say on the subject. And if you missed that, I am happy to share. So we'll let you hear it again, and we'll be doing that next hour too. Thanks to our guests here in the first hour, P. Moss, who's here from the brand new Punk Rock Museum. And boy, was that a lot of fun talking to him about all things punk. And just a minute ago, Christina Wilson coming in here to tell us all about what is happening on National Record Store Day. Look at this. She didn't come empty-handed. Can you see that? Zia Records. There it is. And their new mascot, the little record guy. There he is. This is a bag they brought. Got some cool sunglasses inside and a koozie and all that. And I actually do have a couple of albums that I'm hoping I might be able to grab. So I asked her if it was cool if, if I came over tomorrow and if she just wanted to maybe, just randomly misfile some things and tell me where they got misfiled. She wasn't having that. So I got no advantage. But I do, I tried. I worked the radio card there. I do want to go, though, tomorrow and see what might be available on vinyl. Kind of cool that it's back, isn't it? Anybody of a certain age that could say, well, I grew up with vinyl albums. and then to be able to say, they're a thing again. I mean, I don't know that anybody expected that to be the case, but yeah, it is a thing. Vinyl records outselling CDs for the first time since year one of the CD's existence. That tells you a whole lot right there. I think it sounds better, really. Truthfully, I do. And you know what? Maybe I'm making it up. Maybe it's all imaginary, but in my head, it's like a vinyl album is warmer for whatever reason. I just feel like it's got a certain something that you just don't get on a cassette or an MP3 file or even a CD. But that's just me. And I also do like the fact that they're larger. And, as you get a little bit older, I'll admit it, true confessions, but, you get a little bit older. It's kind of nice when the print is a little bit larger, right? So you have that going for you. But maybe, I don't know, after all this conversation about punk rock, maybe tomorrow I go wet my whistle with some vintage punk rock. What do you think? That would be a good idea, right? We'll do that. I don't know what I'm going to buy, but whatever I do buy, I promise you I will share with you what it was. And who knows, maybe I'll have you over someday and we'll listen to records together. That could be cool. Okay, lots ahead. Like I said, in the next hour, Oakland A's baseball. Mia Jackson will also be back on, and she's going to talk to us about her career coming out of Georgia, how she got started in comedy, and all of that around the corner. So stay put.
1400 KSHP North Las Vegas and KSHP.com.
Byline USA Broadcast Network.
You're listening to the Sports Byline USA Broadcast Network.
USA News, I'm Ryan Daniels. The Supreme Court is ruling the abortion pill mifepristone can stay on the market.
The decision comes after the court extended a temporary stay on a Texas federal judge's ruling to halt production and distribution of the drug. Mifepristone was originally approved by the FDA in 2000 and has been used by over 5 million women since. Justices Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito, two conservative on the court, said they would have denied the request for a pause. I'm Dave Collins.
President Biden is taking steps to curb pollution affecting low-income and minority communities.
We have to commit ourselves to action. Will we step up to our ambitions? Will we stand together to meet the great challenges we have? Will we preserve our planet for future generations?
The president signed an executive order on Friday directing federal agencies to focus more on environmental justice initiatives. That order will also create a new Office of Environmental Justice. Meanwhile, the Department of Homeland Security is establishing an AI task force. Republicans eyeing a 2024 run for the White House will be in Iowa this weekend. More than half a dozen current or potential presidential candidates will speak to conservatives attending the Iowa Faith and Freedom Coalition's spring fundraiser Saturday. Former President Trump is scheduled to give remarks remotely as he seeks to shore up support among evangelical voters. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, former Vice President Mike Pence, former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson, and others are expected to speak in person. Music lovers across the country will celebrate Record Store Day Saturday. The annual event uses hundreds of exclusive releases to draw shoppers to independent record stores. This year's Record Store Day releases are headlined by the likes of Pearl Jam, Taylor Swift, and U2. This is USA News.
Have you ever picked up a towel set because it felt really soft in the store, but then when you go to use it, it's not very absorbent? That's why MyPillow has developed the MyPillow towels. Towels that work. The 6-piece towel set includes 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. And right now you can receive a 6-piece set for only $39.98 with promo code USA. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener special, and enter promo code USA, or call 800-951-8175. That's MyPillow.com, promo code USA.
Do you have a story to tell? Bring your story to life with audiobooks. Great stories deserve great storytelling. Audiobook Network provides professional voice actors and full production services for every author's manuscript. From narration, production, and editing to distribution, promotion, and sales, Audiobook Network handles everything. If you have a print book, ebook, or even a manuscript, call Audiobook Network now and get our free audiobook guide. 800-734-1229, 800-734-1229.
World Premium
CBD offers full and broad spectrum CBD oil, extracts, and capsules, which are designed to help you feel your best. Their products are sourced from the best organic hemp and natural ingredients on the market and are tested for quality, purity, and potency. They have a full range of items from health and wellness to beauty to pets. Call 725-205-9223. Visit online at zenworld.com or stop by their location at 9895 South Maryland Parkway and Silverado Range Parkway. Mention KSHP for 10% off in store or use code KSHP online for 15% off.
Welcome to Hash House A Go-Go, where we've been serving farm food and crafted cocktails for over 2 decades. Visit us for the full Hash House experience at any of our 5 Las Vegas locations. Hash House A Go-Go is where old school meets new and gets twisted. We bring people together over good food and fun. Come in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and come hungry because our portions are huge. Visit us online to see our entire menu at hashhouseagogo.com. Hash House A Go-Go. It's a Midwest thing, and there's nothing else like it.
Is your dog suffering from a sensitive stomach? Hi, it's Kelly the Cookie Lady from Mooch's Munchies. Our dogs had super sensitive tummies, and I needed to find a low-fat treat that wouldn't give them gas or other issues. Most of the treats on the market were loaded with fillers, chemicals, and chicken fat. Many of them weren't even food. Well, I knew I could do better, so I developed Mooch's Munchies, and I'm happy to be able to share them with you. Stop by our store or our website, moochesmunchies.com, and find out why we say that Mooch's Munchies are totally pawsome.
At AR Heating and Air Conditioning, our main goal is to provide high-quality service without breaking the bank. From maintaining your HVAC units to fixing them when they are down, they are there for you. AR Heating and Air Conditioning offer reasonable prices, reliability, and professional service at a great value. For more information, go to fixmyac.net or call 702-646-4000. Beat the heat and call AR Heating and Air Conditioning today.
Live from Las Vegas, this is the Wayne Coy Show.
Well, one of the best things about being in Las Vegas is we get to sample the best of the comedy world on a pretty frequent basis. And I've been watching the calendar, and now it's finally come an opportunity to see Mia Jackson here in town, and she's over at the Rio and the Comedy Cellar. And I don't know how it works over there. We're like, who, Mia? First of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
Hello.
How do you get to decide like who stage order? Who chooses that?
That is out of my hands.
Okay.
So basically, the lineup is set from New York. Yeah.
Okay.
And so so they'll send the lineup, and then just as stuff happens here, like let's say if somebody has to somebody's like, oh, I actually can't come, or my schedule changed, then they'll just check in and make sure like, hey, maybe we need to swap this person or somebody else is filling in. So I wouldn't dare walk in the room myself and be like, I'm gonna go third or last, or I go where y'all put me.
Exactly. And they do change it up though, don't they, from time to time?
Yeah. And typically for the Vegas schedule is usually like the same people for the whole week, but it changes sometimes. Like this is one of the weeks where there are going to be some different people. So yeah.
Is it like doing a cruise except you're not on a boat?
You know what? That's kind of what Vegas reminds me of a little bit. Yeah. It is. Yeah.
Well, you do get different people though every night, right? I mean,
This
it's not
is
the
true.
same crowd night after night.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I didn't know if you had a preference in terms of do you like to be second up, third up, last? Does it matter?
I'll just do it wherever. Yeah. When it's a showcase style show, if somebody is like, hey, I feel like you'll be better first, you'll be better here, I just go wherever they put me. I'm a pro.
I know you are, Mia. I know you are. Hey, have you ever worked with anybody that you were like, ooh, really don't want to follow that person for whatever reason?
I mean, yeah. And especially like in the New York cellar, like it's so many people that are like any comedy show that's been on TV or anything right now. It could be whether it's a late night show, Comedy Central specials, Netflix specials, just whatever, HBO. Those people might be on the lineup. So you'll be like, oh, this person,
I gotta deal with that.
I
Yeah.
gotta follow this person. Yeah. And then famous people drop in all the time, and then you're like,
Sure.
I'm next.
Don't sell yourself short because you are famous people.
Oh my
You're a
God.
famous people from Georgia too, which is what I love. Are you from Athens or you just went to school there?
I just went to school there. Yeah. So I went
Okay.
to school there. I grew up in Columbus, Georgia.
You did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So military town. Yeah. That's where I grew up.
You beat me to that. I was just going to say it's a town famous for its military folk.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what about Athens? That's kind of a crazy college town.
Hey, go Dogs. Yes. Yes. Athens is, listen, right now, let me just say something. I've been riding on the high of two back-to-back national championships. I've been real smug. So
You've earned the
know,
right to be. I mean, that team is a team.
It's been amazing. And after all these years of just being like, oh, we're almost there. Like, it's been nice to just be like, yes, UGA, what? But yeah, college town, crazy.
Well, see, famous for the B-52s, famous for REM, famous for Mia Jackson, and
add me to the list.
That's a good list. Well, Herschel Walker's on there. I don't know where you are with that, but yeah, that's the same face. It's the same face I made. That's funny. Okay, so you got out of Georgia when? When did you graduate from college, and were you already doing stand-up before that?
Look, I will, so as not to disclose so that anybody can find me. I graduated in the truth
That's what I thought it was that year.
See, you got it. Yeah. I graduated. I actually started comedy in Athens.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started there about a year and a half after I graduated, and then went down to Atlanta, and then I was in Atlanta for a pretty long time, and that's pretty much like it went from where people were like, oh, you were an Athens comic to, oh, now you're an Atlanta comic. So
and there is a difference.
Yeah,
there's a difference for sure. When you started, was it like on a dare, or was it something you had said, I'm going to do this?
It was something where I had internally been like, oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I remember I went to watch at an open mic first. And then I remember talking to one of my aunts, and I was like, oh, I went to an open mic and I met these comedians, and I was telling them I've already been writing jokes. And then she was like, well, did you tell them any of your jokes? And I was like, well, yeah. And then she's like, well, what if they steal your jokes? And I'm like,
because they will.
It happens sometimes. Well, yeah, it does happen. But I was like, my aunt was like, well, you know what you got to do? You've got to go sign up now. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
right.
I guess I do, don't I?
Yeah. So
and how scared were you?
Very, because I was like, what have I agreed to do? Because like the guys that were hosting that night, when I was like, oh yeah, I kind of want to do stand up, and they were like, well, why don't you come back? Just come back next week. They were like, come back and sign up. You should come back. And I was like, okay. And so that's how it all happened. Yeah.
Sure. And you get over those initial nerves, and then after a bit, as soon as you, I've heard this enough to believe it's true, you sort of get hooked on the call and response. Like when you realize, I can make somebody laugh, that starts to get good to you. And then you kind of figure out what works. So you start to write towards the strength. And in your case, you're like the queen of the throwaways. I mean, I just love, I mean, you know, it's like, don't see it coming. Don't see it coming. It came. Don't see it coming. Don't see it. It came again. And you make my sides hurt, Mia. And that's a good thing.
You just made my day. I appreciate that.
And I did love too. There was in one of your specials where there was a girl with a very, you know what I'm talking about? She had this laugh that was like, yeah. And you were like, are you okay?
Yes, that was the Comedy Central. It was in New Orleans, and I was dying that they kept it in. I was like, because it was such a real moment, because she was laughing so hard that it almost threw me off, because I was like, okay, you okay? And I'm like, everybody in the room was just like, oh my God.
They're laughing at her laughing.
Yeah, so it was really fun, and it just even seeing it back on camera, I was like, they kept it in. Like,
That's kind of a bonus, because you got the laugh that you wanted to get from the joke. Then you got the laugh because of her laugh. That's a good night right there. Now you spent a lot of time on the road, and I know you toured with Amy Schumer. And a few other comics. Is there anybody that you haven't worked with yet that you're just kind of hoping you might grab a chance
Gosh.
to tour with, or do you like
Let
doing it
me
on your own?
I mean, you know what? I'm open to, like, listen, whoever is out there that's like, I think I need a Mia Jackson. I'm down, you know.
Okay.
But no, in general, you know, stand up is a very solo game. But I mean, I like doing it all. So if somebody's like, hey, we want Mia to come headline, I will headline. If somebody's like, oh, well, we got this person that is way more popular and famous than you, and they need someone who's strong to open for them, like I'll do that. So yeah, I mean, I'm down for a mix of basically
Okay.
just whatever I can do to work.
So the idea of being part of a package, though, I mean, there is an appeal to that, or no?
Yeah. So like this past fall, I was on another one of her tours, and we toured from, what was it? Oh gosh, it was like August to December. And it was a ton of shows, like, and it was a really good time. But that's a really fun way to perform because there's not any pressure on me because one, nobody came to see me at all. So,
Well, I don't know
just-
about that.
But
Look,
it's
you're
just
on the bill for a reason, for sure.
but it's still a way that you can go, you know what? I get to have this experience, to see what it's like at that next level. But then, you get the wow, this is, performing in theaters and all these, big places. But then you're like, it's low pressure in terms of like, oh, well, she trusted me enough to come open up this show to be one of her openers. So,
And if you're back for a second or third time, I mean, you get to that point, you obviously have a chemistry. And, do you hang when you're at the hotel, or do you go out to dinner together, or is it pretty much we work together and I'll see you at the next venue?
No, it's a mix of all of it because it was me, one of the other openers, it was me, it was Jay McBride. So we were the two openers. We did 15 minutes each. And then it just really depended on what was happening after the show. Like sometimes it would be like, oh my God, we're so exhausted. Good night, goodbye. And then other times it would be like, hey, let's go to breakfast tomorrow. Or hey, we're gonna go, we'll go to dinner tonight. So but for the most part, everybody's just like, we're tired. We traveled all day. I'm gonna go sleep.
Sure.
But we all hung out. Yeah.
And then the other thing I find in talking to comics, and I'm pretty comic friendly on the show and off the show even, I just love hanging around with comedians, One thing that I think has been a constant is there's a lot of hours and you got to kill those for that. In your case, like you just said, 15 minutes because you're part of a package. If it's a headline show, what are you doing? You doing 75? You're doing...
No, if I'm headlining, it can be anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. Yeah.
Okay.
So if it's the show where Mia Jackson is the headliner, it could be 45 minutes to an hour. Yeah.
Sure. So how many hours that you're not on stage are you spending working on your craft? I mean, because you obviously are a writer. So how many hours a day are you spending doing that?
Wayne, do you want the truth?
I do.
No, it really just depends. Like sometimes if I know I'm working on something, if I'm like, oh, I got some new jokes, then, it might be before the show, I might sit around and chat with some friends of mine who I trust their comedic instincts. And I'll be like, hey, what do you think about this thing? And then I'll, try to go back and forth and clean it up. But then other times I'm like, I'm about to take a nap.
Yeah.
I'm napping.
Sure.
So,
you're a fellow Atlantan, a guy that I've spent quite a bit of time with. He and I worked together very closely for about 2.5 years as George Wallace. And George is one of those guys who will, he'll write in spurts, right? So there'll be a week or two where that's all he's about. But then most of the time, the way it works is he's living life. Something happens and he's got to immediately either write it down or talk it into his phone or something because it's a joke waiting to happen. Just hasn't been born yet.
Yeah, that's actually a lot of what happens with me. But I do have friends who will go, oh, I'm gonna write for an hour every day, or oh, I'm gonna write for, I'm gonna set the timer for 30 minutes and just free flow and all that kind of stuff. But then but like that's kind of how I am where I'll go, oh, something interesting happened, so let me write down all my thoughts on this thing that happened in real life and see if it has some legs as a joke.
Yeah, Mia Jackson. Now you're on this YouTube special. I don't know, was it with Theo Von, where the the two of you working together, or did you come together for the show? Or what was that all about?
Wait, which one? No.
See, so somebody slapped that together after the fact. It was about the art of being a comedian. And I haven't watched it. I just saw it in my feed and I was like, okay, note to self, watch that. Because I think both of you are very funny. So,
Wait,
so no,
what? You gotta send me the link. I have no
We're
idea.
learning stuff here, Mia. Yeah. No, I was watching. I was on one of these things, and I do this where I'll get on a binge with a particular actor or an athlete, or in your case, a comedian, and I want to all of a sudden just watch everything. And that came up.
Was it This Is Stand Up? Is that what it was called?
I think it was.
If that's it, then I do know. Yeah, that was a documentary that came out on Comedy Central. I think like it came out at some point during the pandemic. It might have been 2020 or 2021, but like the stuff that I taped for it, I think I did that in like 2019.
Okay.
But yeah, I know if it's the This Is Stand Up, then yes, I know.
All right. So did you work? Did you work with that crazy guy or no?
No, because I think they just got like footage from a bunch of different comedians to put in the documentary.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I understand how that works. Okay. So when you are on the road, I know there was a time where you said your dad would check on you. Is he still doing that?
All the time. Yes. Yeah. Listen, the character, and it's look. So last night at the Comedy Cellar, I had family members that came to the show.
Okay.
They're
you're in Vegas.
I was in Vegas. Yeah, and they're my look, technically my first cousins once removed, so they're my dad's first cousins, and they all grew up together. So they came, and when I did the jokes on my dad, like afterwards, they were like, "That is your dad through and through." So anything if you see me talking about him is very accurate.
Yeah. And what's his response to you when he hears you doing what you do? Riffing
You know
on
what?
Pops.
He laughs, but then sometimes it's funny. He'll be like, "Oh, I was writing down some jokes for you," and I go, "You just have to be yourself. That's
no writing necessary, Dad. Nope.
Just be you." Yes.
He seems like he's very protective of his baby girl.
Yeah, and now this is the new thing in my life is that my sister just had a baby, so I'm a new aunt.
Okay.
And he has basically, my sister and we've been pushed to the side for the baby. So
that's kind of how it works.
That's who he's protective of now. He does not trust me with the baby. So at all. He has already been like, these are my favorite things so far. I was at home visiting. My sister was like, "Oh, I'm gonna leave her with you real quick." And so the baby's next to me, she's asleep. And my dad is whispering to my sister, like, "Well, where's the baby? Where is she?" And then she's like, "Oh, she's upstairs with me." And he's like, "Now you don't think she's gonna roll over on the baby, do you?"
Right.
Because I don't want her to roll over. And I was like, "I'm not gonna roll over on this baby." Like, oh my God. Like, yeah.
I thought you were going to say maybe he was putting the pressure on you now. It's like, okay.
No. He did ask me one day. He was like, "Does this make you want to have a baby?" And I was like, "No.
Not really, Dad.
It's not at all." Mm-mm.
What's that? I don't want to get too personal, but I kind of do. So when you're on the road, how do you, if you were in a relationship, how would you be able to maintain that when you're gone all the time? I've always found that to be a tough thing to do.
Yeah, well, no, and I actually am in one, and like the thing is, I think it's because our relationship started off long distance.
Okay.
So we're very much used to being like, "Oh, I won't see you for stretches at a time." But it was also very helpful because we were actually legitimately friends before we were in a relationship. Like, we've known each other for years. Yeah.
But you knew going in that there was going to be a suitcase being packed on a regular. And that was okay.
Yeah. And just based on like, and then we just make sure we talk all the time. Like we'll like it might not be constant texting all day, but it'll be like, all right, we'll make sure we get a chat in, and we'll, and sometimes he can come with me. So that's also kind of cool too. Yeah.
You got a whole bit about texting in a particular way, which we might have to play later.
Please do.
Okay. So Mia, tell me about Vegas, because everybody that we have on the show says they look forward to it, but it is its own animal. And then just the other day, Butch Bradley was on, and he said, as far as he's concerned anyway, Vegas is now a scene. It's like a burgeoning comedy thing where it didn't necessarily, it used to be all about the headliners. Now it's a place where you can come and get some stage time and grow your career and all that. Have you experienced that at all?
Yeah, because I've known friends that have come here for years, and like in my head before I ever started coming, it was like, okay, well, Vegas is the place that you go, and this is just my perception, so I don't want anybody that's in the Vegas scene to be like, what the hell is she talking about? But my perception is very much where I was like, okay, I know people that go, oh, I'm gonna go work Vegas, and then they would go, oh, I'm at this one club for the week, or I'm at this other club. So I just kind of knew it as that kind of thing where it's like, oh, Vegas, you go, and like you said earlier, where you're like, oh, is it like a cruise ship? You're going to work for the week, and that's the thing. But now I have friends that have moved here, and so I'm like, oh, because I was like, yeah, how is that? I'm like, how is, because I'm so used to like, oh, I was in the Atlanta comedy scene, now I'm in the New York scene, and they're like, no, like, yeah, we got regular spots around town. You go you go hop on this show at this bar, you go do this thing, or you go do this night that this club might have at this particular place. So they're like, yeah, we actually we have a scene here. So so I know people that are like, basically I'm getting my chops at the places around town, and then now the clubs are hearing about me, kind of thing. So,
Butch was saying too about, like, from his perspective, he said you almost want to, if you are it's your room or you're headlining, you almost want to leave a little bit of space there, because you never know who may decide to pop up and go, let me get up in here. Right. And it could be in Vegas. It could be, like he said, it could be Sebastian. It could be Jimmy Kimmel. It could be, Brad Garrett. You never know who it might be.
Yeah. In fact, one of the times I was here, gosh, it was probably, I don't know if it was like maybe 2018, 2019, but it might be 2018. But I remember like George Wallace popped in at the Cellar. Like he just, happened to come in, and we're all like, George Wallace is here, and he did a spot on the show, and it was really fun, and it was crazy because, like, I think the fire alarm went off or the power went out during the middle of his set, and he just killed, like, through all of this.
Oh, he probably planned that.
It was so great. Like it was great. Yeah.
He's doing a TV show now, sitcom, and so I invited him only because he's family. I said, look, why don't you be my very first guest on the new show, right? And he said, love to, but first day on the set, and I got about a 12 or 13 hour work day. So I said, okay, rain check. And he said, yeah, it won't be long. So he'll be on here. I'm going to let him know Mia Jackson was on before him. So he got through the pandemic by not leaving, going anywhere. And he actually texted me a picture of him up on the roof of this penthouse, where he lives in Atlanta. And the picture was taken by his daughter from the parking lot downstairs. And he said, that's as close as I let her get. Like he was like Howard Hughes all of a sudden. He didn't want anything to do with anybody because, he didn't want to get COVID. Great. Right?
I don't blame him. Yeah.
Aren't you glad we're done with that? I mean, that just, for creative people like yourself, I mean, it had to be horrible.
It was it was tough. Like I I guess it's fine, I can say it, but like right before, like the month, like before everything shut down, maybe like the week everything's about to shut down, I was in LA filming a comedy contest that was gonna be on Netflix.
Oh.
and so I was like, because I was just like, oh, the rocking and rolling things are going, and they were just like, yeah, everybody got to go home, and we were like,
oh
what?
No! So you basically got COVIDed out of your gig right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so you though were one of the, and I'd say there's a handful. It's not many. It's maybe 10 that I know of that were able to somehow sustain and in a decent way. I mean, you did enough online comedy, learning how to do that. I don't know how you. There's no school for that.
Yeah, and I was against it at first because, like, I remember the first person that brought it up to me was my college agent, and she was like, Mia, we're gonna we're gonna try to do these, online shows. And I was like, nope, not interested. Don't want to do it. And she's like, no,
Right.
like trust me, like try it out. And then just as everybody, basically evolved, and people like, all right, we're gonna use, this platform. Okay, you got to get this kind of microphone. You got to get this thing, and then just people got better about how they, like I just remember the evolution of being like, this isn't fun to. Oh, okay, this person knows how to run this online show. And then I was doing corporate gigs, I was
Yes.
doing colleges, just everything. I did voiceover stuff. It was just all kind of stuff that which again, it was tough, but and this is gonna be awful, but like the thing that when I did my first show back like live, I was so used to having my snacks to the side that when I got on the live show, I was like, where are my snacks? I was like, my snacks are not to my left.
Hold up, people. There's supposed to be some Cheetos here. I don't know what happened.
I'm like, I got a whole thing set up. Yeah, so that was tough. That was tough. Yeah.
But you got it down. And I would think the initial pushback would be, I'm so accustomed to that response. And I'm afraid I'm not going to get it online like I get it in a club or in a theater, right?
Yeah. And that's why, the people that were able to run the shows really well, it was really cool because you would get the people, I just learned stuff along the way where we'd be like, all right, we're going to unmute certain people, or we'll make sure like, hey, if you don't plan on responding or laughing, just hit mute, and if you feel comfortable. And so that was really helpful to at least get a gauge of what worked. But it was definitely like that immediate in-person thing where you're like, am I getting to the laugh? And that was another thing too. I learned like kind of to like play a little bit more to the camera where I would be like, listen, guys, leaning in and being like, just doing all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Do you find that that's going to help you as it relates to standard video work? I mean, you've done a bunch of it already anyway, but I would imagine there's more to come. And I guess I should ask you, do you have aspirations to do TV, radio, or not radio, but television, films, or is stand-up where you're at and you love what you do?
I love stand-up. I've also gotten into to writing a little bit behind the scenes, and I just this past fall I got to write for the second season of Life and Beth, which is Amy's show that's on Hulu. So I got to be on the writing staff for that. And then actually during the pandemic, a friend of mine, which just the connection that you make in comedy. So the guy who was the first person to encourage me to do stand-up in Athens a million years ago, we stayed friends all this time. He and I we co-wrote a show, a pilot during the pandemic, and then ended up getting it optioned by a studio. So
this may happen.
Well, like at the point where we're at now, like it's like we may try to, like, the option is out, but we may try to like retool it and do some other stuff. But in general, to me, just the accomplishment was going like, oh, we actually just did something during the pandemic. Like, all right, well, let's do it. And then somebody read it and was like, oh, I like this. And it gave me the confidence to go, oh, I would like to do more of this. Like, I really like the behind the scenes part of it, because with acting, I'll just tell you right now, I am terrible at it. And anytime my manager sends me a self-tape, I'm always like, no, thank you.
Don't want to do it. Okay. Well, I'm glad I asked that question. So for you, the acknowledgement that you get from something that you wrote, having somebody else deliver it and getting the desired result, that's as much of a kick for you as being in a club and doing it. And maybe even more than being, like you said, in front of a camera, right?
Yeah. It was super, like, and that's why I had such a really good experience in that writer's room, and so I'm like, that's the kind of stuff I would love to do more of in addition to stand up. Yeah.
Okay. And the Wayne Coy Show, of course.
And the Wayne, come on, that's top priority. What are you talking about?
I didn't know where it was on the list, but I'm glad you told everybody.
Number one, and then stand up is number two. Come on.
Okay. Mia, when are you coming back to Vegas? Do you have how far ahead do you book?
Who knows? You know what? It depends, because all right, I've been really bad this year about booking ahead. I've just like, it's been, and I've been blaming it on the baby, really, because I keep trying to visit this baby, And
Right.
I just keep going, guys. I'm like, I'm on maternity leave right now.
Practicing how not to roll over on the baby. I know.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, I'm on my leave right now. I will perform but whenever Vegas wants to have me, I will be here. That's all I'm saying.
They'll have you. We'll have you. We'll have you as much as you'll come here. That's the way I feel.
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
love coming out here. Yeah.
Queen of comedy, Mia Jackson. I'm
Oh
so
my
glad
gosh.
you took the time today. I can't stop it. I'm sorry. Anybody who knows me will tell you. If I feel it, I'll tell you. So anyway, thanks for all the laughs, and we're gonna play some more of that in just a minute. But please come back next time you're in town. You promise? Oh, pinky swear. Wow.
My pinky swear. And I'm glad I
did
put on
get
lotion.
serious. You had me nervous though because you took like 3 seconds to answer. Just letting you know.
Yeah. I just want everybody to know. I can tell everybody I'm wearing lotion. My hands are nice and shiny.
I see zero ashiness there. That's very smooth.
Thank you. Thank
All right.
you.
Hey,
That's all I needed.
good shows the rest of the week. And if
Thank
anybody wants to find you online, Mia, how do they do that?
My website is miajackson.com, which I will update now that I've told everybody. And then I'm on Instagram at Mia Comedy. So
Yeah,
that's how you
Mia
can find
Comedy. Right.
me.
And of course, you can go see her at the Cellar at the Rio, and she'll be here the rest of the
Here till
week.
Sunday. Here till
Okay.
Sunday, 2 shows, 7 and 9:30 every night.
Mia Jackson, thanks so much for the time.
Thank you.
See you soon.
I hope that you are taking care of yourselves as a people. That's what I hope you're doing. And I thank you. And I hope that I inspire somebody tonight. All right. In the past 2 years, I have lost like 40 to 50 pounds, you guys. So thank you. Thank you so much. It's probably closer to 10. So I lie about it all the time. So I probably did not lose weight at all. I just like to throw out numbers to feel like I accomplished something. But no, I lost weight for real, but this is what I learned. Like, you really have to watch what you eat, and you got to watch what you put in your body. And I learned that food addiction is real. And I'm going to tell you the moment that I knew I hit rock bottom. So I got electrocuted trying to eat some hot dogs off of a George Foreman grill. All right. I'm just telling you what happened. All right. This is what I didn't know. My grill had a short in it. And I found out about the short, and I still tried 3 different times to reach for the hot dogs, okay? So the first time I got shocked, I was like, ooh, that's a mistake, let's try again. The second time, I was like, ouch, but I'm not a quitter, okay? I'm not. Then the third time, I was like, I think I'm dead. Like, I think I am dying. Like, what is happening? So, you all right? You okay? Have you been hurt before?
The Wayne Coy Show.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
paid for by Steelman Pills. 800-431-9102. 800-431-9102. 800-431-9102. That's 800-431-9102.
Now back to the Wayne Coy Show. Now back to the Wayne Coy Show.
Feeling kind of baseball right now. I don't know why. I know the Golden Knights are playing hockey. I know that. Just got the round ball on my mind, man. And there's a good reason why. Right after, I mean, literally right after we got off the air last night, 15 minutes later. And the funny thing is, our topic before we left the air was a guy out in Sacramento, Stu, who's doing this whole reverse boycott thing where he's saying, hey, let's go pack the Oakland Coliseum and prove to the owners that it's not the fans. It's you. Maybe it's you. Well, I think it is. But anyway, right after that, this news breaks. If you've been under a rock, if you haven't heard, if the folks here at the radio station hadn't already done a good enough job to get it to you and somehow you missed it, the deal is the Oakland Athletics, after 55 years, are on their way to Las Vegas, following their brethren, the Oakland Raiders, who moved here, as you know, just a couple of years ago. So the two teams that I grew up rooting for, the A's, I went to my first game in 1969. And the Raiders, I think I was about 2 years later, 71. My mom used to babysit for a guy named Don Highsmith. Not a big name, but was number 32 for the Raiders at the time and running back out of Michigan State, I think. So yeah, mom babysat for him. It was a different time. That's back when the money was not anywhere near what it is now. So most of the players in the NFL back then had to have regular jobs. So that was the case with Don and his wife, who both worked. And, if Don was playing football and his wife was working, then my mom would step up and take care of their daughter, Janelle, who sadly was killed in a drive-by shooting in the Detroit area just a couple of years ago. Jack Tatum from the Raiders is the one who told me that, which I did not know. It was horrible to hear that because we loved Janelle when she was a little girl. And it was great with Don because he would take us to the Raiders practice field there in Alameda and also to the Coliseum. And we got to do some really cool things, play catch with Darryl LaMonica and Fred Biletnikoff and all of that Raider tradition steeped in it, okay? And they, of course, played their home games at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum, which also happened to be the home of the Swingin' A's, the Oakland Athletics, a team that won their division in 1971, 1972, 1973, 1974, 1975. And in that 5-year stretch, they won the World Series 3 consecutive years, 72, 73, 74. I was at the indelible age at that point. You couldn't have picked a better age to be to have all that happening. I mean, I was just a kid, just learning what baseball was all about. And from the time I went to my first game again in 69, all the way up into, I think my last home game with the A's was a couple of years ago. We moved to Vegas in 2020, so would have probably been the 2019 season, I guess. Yeah, before the pandemic. And of course, we have the Aviators here and everything. But anyway, what's been going on is you've had ownership. This is the current ownership of the Oakland A's, who I don't have a whole lot of love for, I'll be perfectly honest with you, who have been dragging their feet and slowly but surely saying that they were going to be building a ballpark on the water in Oakland. And of course, Oakland's a city that, has economic challenges like a lot of major metros do. There's a big homeless issue. There's high unemployment. Crime is what it is in a city like Oakland. And if there's anything that I think could have lifted the spirits of the community more than anything, especially in the aftermath of losing your football team and your basketball team, the Warriors, who I wish were never called the Golden State Warriors. That was a 1-year thing that they did when they were splitting time between Oakland and San Diego. And so to cover that, the entire California thing, they figured, well, let's give them a name that blankets the state
And so they became the Golden State Warriors. Never were they known as the Oakland Warriors, even though they played their games at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum Arena. And they did that for over 40 years. That's a long, long time. So they were truly an Oakland team. They moved to San Francisco. Raiders, like I said, to Vegas. So all we had left was the Oakland A's. And somehow it became all about this waterfront ballpark, when I think a lot of us in the fan base felt like what they really should have done is just build where they were. Because the current Coliseum site, I don't know if you're familiar, but it's right off of 880, the big freeway there. It's right by a BART station, literally connected to the BART station via a walkway, kind of like we have at, we had at Tropicana. Okay, it's that kind of a overpass sort of thing. So you got public transportation with BART. You have an Amtrak station, so fans from Sacramento could take a train into the game. You have the airport there, very close, hotels everywhere. So perfect place for a ballpark, but for whatever reason, it became about the water, or at least that's what they told us. And that they also said they were rooted in Oakland, okay? Well, we found out over this last year where there was really not a whole lot of activity as it relates to Oakland, and more there was activity here in town with the A's visiting. And if you were to talk to, at the time, A's president Dave Kaval, what came out of his mouth over and over again was, we're on parallel paths, okay? One is are we going to build a stadium in Oakland on the water? The other is we're going to leave Oakland and come to Las Vegas. And there was talk about where the site would be for the new stadium. There was the festival grounds over there by the Sahara. There was the Rio property, and then Tropicana, where the hotel is right now, the Tropicana Hotel. Turns out, after last night's big news that the Athletics are indeed coming to Vegas, that they had reached a deal to purchase the land for the new stadium. It's going to be basically Dean Martin and Tropicana, not far at all from Allegiant. So you're going to have Allegiant Stadium, then you're going to have the new baseball stadium, and then not too far from there, you're going to have T-Mobile, and they're even talking about a walkway to connect the Strip, because, of course, it's on the other side of 15, right? So they're talking about a walkway to be able to get the fans from the Strip to the baseball stadium, with an overpass or gondola. I have no idea exactly how they're going to do that. Now, some of the land, all the land really, Station Casinos is what they used to be called. Now it's Red Rock Properties or something. But anyway, they own the land, and they're not letting the A's have all of it. They're keeping some for themselves, which makes you believe that there's probably going to be a new casino there as well. Would just only make sense, right? If you're going to build a 35,000 seat baseball stadium with a retractable roof, so on the days where it's not 115 degrees, you can open up the roof and let the sunshine in, right? A little bit of a breeze is always nice. So they're going to have the ability to do that. And then there is, of course, the talk that they're going to build a casino right next to it. And why wouldn't you? If you're Station Casinos or Red Rock Properties, whatever they are now, to be able to have a place where you could just take the fans right from there to there. Then there's the whole conversation of, okay, the Raiders play 8 home games a year. The Golden Knights play a lot of games, but nowhere near as many as you play in baseball. Aces, same way. I think they play 40, I think. So this will be a lot of games, and 81 to be exact. And the question is, can the A's draw enough in a metropolitan area that is much, much smaller than the San Francisco Bay Area? Can they get people to, on a consistent basis, come to the ballpark and watch the games? And according to A's management, because they did put out a statement at almost 10 o'clock at night last night, you figure that one out. They put out a statement, and then since then there have been some more conversations. But basically they're saying that they're expecting the turnout to be on a regular basis about 70% locals, Las Vegas locals, and then 30% coming from the tourists. And it does make sense. I mean, if you're a Boston Red Sox fan or a Yankees fan or a Cubs fan or a Mets fan or, a Devil Rays fan, or they just the Rays now. Yeah, the Rays fan. Angels right down the street. There's interleague play, so the Dodgers will be here too. I can see fans of any of those teams saying, well in advance, oh, my team's playing in Vegas. Let's turn it into a vacation. So they come out and they do what you would always do, which is have a great time here in our city. And as part of the experience, you circled a couple of games and you're going to take them in. So I don't think they're going to have a hard time selling tickets. Okay. I think that over the long haul, this city that just not so long ago, it really wasn't that long ago, the thought of having any sort of professional sports here was absolutely 100% out of the question. Now, all we're going to be missing really is the NBA, and I hear it won't be long till they're here. So, come a long way in that regard. I do believe that it is going to be, at the end of it all, a great thing for Las Vegas, for Nevada, for Major League Baseball. So there's no argument there. Where it hurts, and I'm just being honest about this, where it really is resonating with me right now is I'm a guy who grew up with a team that's been in the same place for 55 years. Okay? Lots of memories, not just those 70s A's, because after that, there was, of course, another run in the 80s where they got very, very good and went to 3 World Series in a row again. Now, they only won one of the 3 over the Giants, which was great. But they were there again, the Bash brothers, Mark McGuire, Jose Canseco. I was at his car wash today, by the way. There's a video. If you get a chance to check it out, it's on the socials. You can see it. But I was hoping to find Jose and get his feedback. They said, no, it hadn't been here for a few weeks. So we'll just keep visiting and we'll eventually talk to him. We've got a lot of time. They're not going to break ground till 2024. And the ETA on the stadium is now 2027. Okay. So we got some time before we, before we put a shovel in the dirt. And then obviously lots of things have to happen with the legislation. I think they wrap up in June though. So that's going to happen pretty quick, but it's Vegas. It seems to me that unlike Oakland, where it was all about the environmental report, and then, the people there that are in the shipping business that have had the Oakland port to themselves. And there was a lot of talk there about you're not going to be able to do what the thing was built for. There was a lot of controversy and a lot of slowdown, but little by little, all of those things went away. And we truly should have been at a place where it was time to go for it. But instead, there was this whole, well, hang on a second. When Major League Baseball tells you they're not going to charge you $1 billion to relocate that you normally would have to pay? No, that's okay. We're not going to make you pay. Major League Baseball wants the A's here. They want them out of the Bay Area so the Giants can have it to themselves. And they want to see baseball in Vegas. That's been made obvious. And as a resident, again, there will be a time, probably won't be long, there will be a time when I'll be high-fiving you. Like today, I literally got greeted with, buddy, you're wearing your shirt. They're coming. And I said, yeah, don't talk to me about that right now. Understand, I grew up with a team that is very much a part of the fabric in another place. Okay. And I know I live here now. A lot of my former neighbors live here now because it's a good place to live. Right. But that was part of our DNA. I grew up an A's fan. My children were raised with the A's. Their children are being raised with the A's. So we've gone full circle. Don't know if you know it or not, but my wife Nancy and I got married at home plate at the Oakland A's game against the Detroit Tigers, September 16th, 2011, right after, they didn't have batting practice, right after they took infield. Tigers took infield, we took the plate. And we said our vows right there. We're the only couple ever to get married at home plate at the Coliseum. So I sold peanuts and popcorn there when I was 12, 13 years old. It was my first real job. A's games, Raiders games. For your honey or your sweets, here's the corn Ken Stabler eats. Who wants a bag of popcorn? So that's where I come from. That's my roots. And what happened today or last night in the dead of the night, don't think that was an accident, by the way. Don't think that they broke that story after 9:00 at night and it was an accident. They knew that they could probably sneak it out there, let it percolate, give people time to wrap their head around it, and then deal with it. It didn't come out at 8:00 in the morning. Okay. It came out after 9:00 at night, long after their offices closed. Wasn't by accident at all. I don't have a lot of love for this current ownership. I have no love for this current ownership. Hate's a strong word, but I'm close. Okay. Dave Cavill actually was somebody who I thought was a breath of fresh air. When he first came into the organization, he had open office meetings and he was inviting the fans to come in and tell them what they wanted at the ballpark. And they brought in the treehouse and the suites. And, I thought, wow, they are really serious. They're putting back. They had an entire campaign called Rooted in Oakland. Green collar baseball. It was all a farce. It was all about putting money in John Fisher's pocket. A guy who has decimated our major league team to the point where there's a New York Yankees player making more than the entire A's payroll. If you ever saw the movie Major League, this is that movie. It's in living color, and it's being played out on a day-to-day basis in Oakland, California, with a team that is right now 3-16. That's 3 wins, 16 losses. And if you extrapolate that and I'm not a math dude, but if you do that, it comes out to 30 wins and 132 losses for the season, this current baseball season. It won't happen. They'll get hot. They'll win some games. They've got some very good young players. So things tend to come out in the wash. I don't expect that the Cleveland Spiders one-loss percentage record that's been in the books since the 1800s. I don't think that's going to be challenged. At least I hope not. Up to this point, 1979, I lived through that. The A's were 54-108 that year, and they were jokingly called the Triple A's because they played like a Triple A team. Like that time, it was a period of playing everything close to the vest, not spending any money, not putting anything back into the team. The owner, Charlie Finley, experienced his stars, Reggie Jackson, Sal Bando, Joe Rudy, Raleigh Fingers, Campy Campaneris, on and on. Those guys all left for this new thing called free agency. And Charlie Finley made it pretty clear, who owned the team. He said, look, I'm not going to be able to play that game. I can't afford to pay those kinds of salaries. So his team, what was left of it, it showed up in the standings, 54-108, and he sold the team the very next year. That's my hope. I hope they have a dreadful season this season. I hope nobody goes to those games and puts not another nickel into that man's pocket. And then I hope at the end of the season or somewhere between now and 2027, when this new beautiful stadium in Las Vegas opens, I hope John Fisher does not own this team, because if he does, I feel sorry for the people here in Las Vegas, because he's already shown his true colors. And his president, Dave Cavill, has as well. He's the face of the organization and has the ability to look the owner in the eye and say, look, this is not okay. But he hasn't done that. So I don't know how he sleeps at night. I really don't. And again, I'm hurt. I'm angry. I'm frustrated. And you can probably tell all of that. Okay. I'm just being real. It's the only way I know how to be. This will pass. It will. I'll get to a place where I'm like, yeah, let's go see the Las Vegas A's play some baseball. We're just not there yet. We're not there for a while. Last night I had a dream. It's funny. I went to bed with this news because remember, I'm here till 9, right? So got done with Stu talking about the reverse boycott, which may or may not be on now. And said goodbye to him. Said goodbye to you. Wrapped up the show. Got my things together. Went home and tossed and turned for about 4 hours because of everything that we've just discussed. And I just didn't sleep well at all. In fact, I had a dream last night. Didn't go well.
Last night I had the strangest dream. With the 42nd pick in the 8th round of the Major League Baseball draft of 2028, the Las Vegas Athletics select shortstop Wayne Coy.
That's how bad it got. They drafted how old would I be then? I'm close to what? By the time the ballpark gets built, I'm going to be, okay, I'd be a 66, 7-year-old shortstop.
Johnny Desjardins, quick on the draw there to put that together. But yeah, I didn't have that dream. I did dream, though. I dreamt that things weren't the way they were. They tried to move before, they tried to move to San Jose, and that got turned down because of the fact that the Giants have the territorial rights to the South Bay. Guess where they got those rights? When it looked like the Giants were going to be leaving the Bay Area, when nobody was showing up for the Giants games. The current, at that time, Oakland A's ownership, the people that bought it from Charlie Finley, Walter Haas and his family, the Levi Strauss people, they, out of the kindness of their hearts, said to the Giants, take the territory, make it yours. We want you to stay. That's what neighbors do. Well, it didn't work in reverse, because when it was the A's turn to say, hey, we'd like to maybe go to San Jose. No, can't let you do that. They looked in Fremont. That didn't work out. They looked at Laney College. That didn't work out. And talked about doing what I said they should have done, which is build in the current spot. And then they ended up at the terminal there for the last 3, 4, how long has it been? 4 years, 5 years? For nothing, right? They're not doing any of that. They're coming to Las Vegas. And at some point, this Las Vegan is going to be really happy about that. I will jump. I will shout. I'll buy you a beer. Don't hold me to that. But we're just not there yet. It is not that time. It's too soon. And, I guess the only way to put it is you got to grieve, right? This is a loss for me. It's like a part of me has died. And so I just got to cope with it. And I will. Hang in there. We'll be good. I promise.
Hi there, this is Kirby Schofield with Schofield Realty here in Las Vegas. Real estate is always changing. Be it a buyer's market, a seller's market. At Schofield Realty, it's your market. Buying or selling, we have the team and the tools.
The world famous radio shopping show, weekday on 1400 KSHP North Las Vegas and KSHP.com.